Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tyler, and welcome back to Scorpio Oxman channel. And sending my love out to all of you, and especially to our American friends south of the border. And happy Thanksgiving to the United States of America, being celebrated today. And all my love to you, to all my American friends and our American neighbors south of the border for today. And so, so today's video, we're gonna go right into it. One of the greatest icons in history, and not only for movies, but this man easily changed the world. He changed the world. None other than Bruce Lee. So Bruce Lee, the iconic martial artist and movie actor in Hollywood history. And of course, I have the heart there to just to show, to symbolize and show how much love we have for him and all that he did with his time, and what he still does, the influence of him, of people knowing him and having known him, and yeah, of course, his movies, Enter the Dragon, Fist of Fury, The Way of the Dragon, and just The Big Boss, and the list goes on, and no introduction needed. No introduction needed. Bruce Lee, an iconic, very iconic, incredibly. So today, um, 85 years ago today, Bruce Lee was born in San Francisco, California. On this day, 85 years ago. And yeah, amazing. His birth date, November 27. And I've done videos on Bruce Lee before and in the History of Scorpio Oxman channel. But today we're going to talk about his primal astrology, which I don't believe that I mentioned before in the earlier videos from before. So today, of course, we're going to talk about his spirit animal in primal astrology. And that is, of course, as I mentioned, that is based on the day, the very day that he's born, and based on the location of the moon in the zodiac, as well as the day sign in the Chinese astrology. Okay, so we'll get right to it. What is the spirit animal of Bruce Lee? We're going to find out right now. And by the way, it's not as usual, when you read about the description of these spirit animals, um, you know, in a sense, it may surprise you, but then again, it doesn't surprise you that of the authenticity that it is what it says, and it's like that's definitely that man or woman who is supposed to be the spirit animal. So amazing. Okay, so Bruce Lee was born on Day of the Salamander in Primal Astrology. Now, the reason that is, okay, so November 27, 1940, and that was he was born in San Francisco, California. Yeah, as I mentioned, 7:12 a.m. is his birth time. Now, what I want to mention here, as I mentioned right here, the moon at that very time, it was still in Virgo on the Mastering the Zodiac uh, a birth chart of Bruce Lee's. So it was still in Virgo, maybe hours away from crossing over to Libra. So I just described it here in the note. An interesting fact: the moon was still in Virgo at the time of Bruce Lee's was born. So because of that, that makes him spirit of the salamander. Okay. But let's say it was in Libra, that would make him a different spirit animal because, as I mentioned, it depends on the location of the moon or which sign that the moon is in. Okay. So basically, so that's the reason why. So, which makes him spirit of salamander before the moon crossed over to Libra on the same day, which would have made him spirit of the crane. Now, there's something I wanted to, that I mentioned as well, which I thought was very interesting, that Bruce Lee could possibly count as being both spirit animals, both the salamander and crane, a blend of both. Now, uh, I want to mention something interesting about there's something it says about the salamander that really stood out to me, and it made me believe, okay, there's no question he's the salamander. Because it- I'm going to show you what it said. Okay, so I pointed it out, and we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it shortly. However, I also want to mention something about the crane. Uh, you would be quite, if you're a movie fan, a fan of movies, Hollywood movies, you would be familiar with the movie The Karate Kid. Okay. Uh the Karate Kid from 1984. So the main character, so I'm not going to mention names right now, but the main character, kid, who is the Karate Kid, he does this position, which is the name of the position he goes in. He calls it the crane, or they call it the crane. So I thought, Bruce Lee was a monumental influence in the world of martial arts. This movie, The Karate Kid, would probably have never been made, or probably would never have existed if it weren't for Bruce Lee. So I figure, okay, that could that could be a sign that Bruce Lee is definitely has a blend of spirit of the crane. It would make perfect sense, right? Thinking about that from that iconic movie, The Karate Kid, right? So, uh, so that's in regards to the crane, the spirit of the crane. So again, we're going to get to the salamander, and as I mentioned, because Bruce Lee's moon is mostly Virgo, on according to the true sidereal zodiac birth chart of his, that makes him to be a spirit of the salamander, or we could say mostly spirit of the salamander. So we could put it that way as well. Okay, so getting right to it, let's read and see what the salamander is like. So, and these are what it says in the article. Of course, as always, I have posted it below for you guys to read about the spirit of the salamander. And of course, you could find the crane. You could find the spirit of the crane as well on the Primal Astrology website. You could read them and compare them, and then between that and the salamander, and see which one does he is he a lot like. But so I have to just point this out right here, what it says. The ability to express oneself. Now, Bruce Lee mentioned that in that was in the interview he did with Pierre Berton in 1971. The Pierre Berton show in 1971. Bruce Lee did that famous interview. That was a famous interview of his. You find it on YouTube, and I posted it. I'm gonna post it here below for you to check it to watch that famous interview with Bruce Lee on the Pierre Berton show. He mentions this about the ability to express oneself, and he mentions of the art of us expressing ourselves, or the art of expressing oneself. Okay, so when I read this, and it says this about in the first article, the first one of the first paragraphs of the description of the salamander, of the spirit of the salamander, it says this, the ability to express oneself. It's like he mentioned that in an interview, so that it could be a coincidence, but I doubt it is. So I don't believe that's a coincidence one bit, seeing that. So that really made me think, okay, he's definitely the salamander. If we were if there was a chance that if you were to think that he was one or the other, but definitely or a blend of both, but definitely, that this really stood out. And aside what it says, being a humanitarian and and idealistic. So that's what it says, the first thing that it mentions about the salamander. So, and this is quite interesting what it says in the animal kingdom. Many salamanders exhibit an interesting behavior called autotomy. Autotomy, if that's how it's pronounced, not to be confused with autonomy, wherein they actually sever a body part, usually the tail, to leave for predators so they can escape. Though it may be painful, the ever resilient salamander will simply grow another appendage to replace the old one. This is an astute metaphor for those born under the sign. In other words, they're resilient. Those who are the spirit of the salamander, they are resilient. Bruce Lee is resilient, plain and simple. So, and they always find a way to return. They always find a way to return to face a challenge again and again. So they're not going to go away that easily, or they're not going to go away, period. So Bruce Lee he's in a combat. Uh, he's fighting martial arts with his opponent or opponents. No matter how much he's knocked down, guess what happens? He gets back up, and then he keeps getting up again, and then again, and then again until his opponents are down, and his opponents ain't getting back up. His opponents can't get up again. Well, they probably could, but then they're going to go down again. Eventually, they're going to be too tired to get up again and they're going to forfeit. But Bruce Lee, he's going to keep getting up forever. He's going to keep getting up and finishing the job forever. So he's going to win. He's going to win the battle no matter what. So, and as it says right here, it says it right here, the living proof, the living proof. So, and it mentioned, so in the in the article below, where it says career, work and career, for those a suitable work and career for the spirit of the salamander, careers and goals. Careers and goals for the salamander. It mentions that they are naturally they are a caretaker of others. So yeah, it mentions that. So definitely read about it. I'll leave the rest for you to read about because it's incredible. It's just incredible what it says, and it's so much him. It's so much him, Bruce Lee. It's not even funny. So it's amazing. And that's why I believe in this. And that's why I teach you, all you guys out there, all you men and women out there about what I'm passionate about and what Bruce Lee, what he mentions in that famous interview on the Pierre Berton show back then about of mentioning about the topic of how we express ourselves and the art of us expressing ourselves, and we express ourselves of what we're interested in and what we know, and in anything, and when we any topic that we bring up that we love, and so which is what I do, and you do it too, and that's something he always, and he's just the role model he is. and the so much he did for the world. Just amazing. So, guys, again, I can't thank you enough. And yep, the article for on the primalastrology.com on the salamander, those who are spirit of the salamander, who is Bruce Lee. And yeah, amazing. And by the way, that's a picture. That's a picture there of, of course, a salamander, of course, and that's actually a picture of a. It's called the giant Chinese salamander, or the Chinese giant salamander. That's happens to be a picture of, and yeah, amazing. So thanks again, guys, and thank you for tuning in today, as always. And sending lots of love to all of you out there. And again, I answer your questions for free on my email. Keep sending your emails to me at scorpiooxman@gmail.com. That's scorpiooxman@gmail.com. I answer your questions for free. And yeah, keep sending them. And I appreciate the support as always. And yeah, and Bruce Lee, uh, a huge birthday today for Bruce Lee, and my love to him and his family out there. And all the best, guys. Until next time, all the best. Take care. Sending my love and God bless. Thank you.